Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another session of Faith Life with me, your host, Acribba. It's always a privilege to be with you on a Thursday evening as we celebrate whether it's a girls' night with some makeup or somebody coming to share their testimony of faith. And so I welcome you tonight to this party. It's going to be a party tonight. That's why I'm dressed all dazzly with my girl, Molina Pierre, who is Mrs. Haiti International. And it's also her birthday, so make sure, place down in the comments below, wish Molina a happy, happy birthday as she's celebrating her birthday with us tonight. I'm extremely excited to get this session started, so feast your eyes on the screen as I welcome Molina Pierre.
Hi everyone, my name is Molina June Pierre, Mistress Haiti International 2020. I am so excited to have been invited to join Acribba so that we can chat and talk about the goodness of the Lord and His unwavering faithfulness in our lives. God is truly wonderful, and I look forward to a moment of celebration. I will be joining her on July 16th, which happens to be my birthday. So we're going to lift up the name of God together. I look forward to sharing my testimony and my platform glowing with purpose and how all of that came about. So please make plans to tune in, to watch, and to get involved. Join in this praise party with us. God bless you, and I cannot wait.
Let's welcome Molina Pierre, Mrs. Haiti International 2020.
Hey, Molina.
Hi, Miss Lightbourne, Acribba. It's such a wonderful pleasure and privilege to be on Faith Line tonight.
Yes.
Yes, I know
Oh
that it
my
is God
God.
ordained because I am celebrating my birthday today. Woo, look at you got your bubbly.
Yes, I do. I'll be
That's
celebrating with my girl
awesome.
Molina tonight. Molina, and this is some white grape here. It's really, really good.
Mhm.
But we're in for a treat tonight. I know that we're
Yes,
gonna be in
yes.
for a treat tonight. I see someone here says my dad turns 84 today. Oh, God bless
Wow.
Dad.
Happy
Happy
birthday to your
birthday,
dad.
Dad.
Yeah, my
You're
birthday
celebrating with
twin.
an amazing queen today, Molina. And I am
Yeah.
so happy to have you join me, Molina. You don't know. We know, and you and I, we had a discussion about God's ways and His plans and His will is it's just perfect because
Yeah.
we would have met about a year ago and
Hmm.
some.
Yeah.
You went
Yeah.
to Grace Faith Talk with your husband,
Hmm.
and at the last minute that was not able to go on. And
Hmm.
today we understand why it was not the time of God for the show to
Hmm.
take place
Hmm.
because I lost contact with you, Melina. I
Hmm.
couldn't find you, and I know you're going to tell us all about that tonight.
Yes.
And when you finally reached out, I saw a like on my Instagram, and like I said, I'm
Hmm.
not normally there. And I said, let me see who this is, and I went on the profile, and then I was like, oh my God, this is Melina. And so you saw, I reached out right away. I was like, hey, girl,
Yes.
because
Right away
I
you
saw
did.
I just saw so many things happen. Like
Yeah.
so many amazing things
Mhm.
happened in your life in the space of 1 year, Melina.
One
And I
year.
know they're gonna be blessed tonight. So start off, Melina,
Mhm.
just by sharing. It's your show tonight. I'm here. We're
Yeah.
gonna conversate. Just share a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get right into it.
Well, yes, my name is Molina. I am the newly crowned Mrs. Haiti International 2020. I was born and raised in Abaco, Bahamas, and I'm married, been married to my husband, Molina Pierre, for 8 years. We have three energetic, handsome little boys. Their names are Peyton, Aiden, and our 6-month-old miracle
Oh,
godson baby boy, Aaron Pierre, and we are currently residing in Fort Lauderdale, Florida right now. And like you said, it's been an amazing shift in our lives in a space of, it's not even a full year yet. But since you and I
Right.
connected, it's been a year. But the Lord has done a tremendous, tremendous thing in our lives. And I am just overflowing with joy because I have found purpose. And
Yes.
as Mrs. Haiti International, my platform actually is called Glowing with Purpose. That is
Yes.
my platform. That is the brand that I am carrying with me in hopes of inspiring young women just like me, mothers, wives, sisters and friends to pursue their purpose in Christ.
Yes.
Sometimes we find purpose in so many other things, but your purpose in Christ is the most valuable one, your God given purpose. That's
That's right.
where, yeah, so that's where the difference is. Because
Wow.
sometimes we are operating in a purpose, but it's dysfunctional because we're not operating the way that we were created to operate. We're not doing what
Yes.
we were created to do. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
tonight, I thank you so much once again, Acribba, for allowing me to be here. I already feel the presence of God already. I always say I'm a low key preacher, but I'm a high key preacher. So you might
Oh
get some
yeah.
preaching out of me tonight.
Okay, well, I down for that. This your show. I down
Yes,
for that.
yes,
Before we get into everything, Melina, what
yes.
what inspired you to go after a crown?
Wow, let me tell you, this was a personal goal, right?
Yes.
I I've always admired pageant queens. I have several friends who are title holders. In fact, you had Miss Naisha Tillis on your
Oh yes.
platform. Yes,
That's my
that's my
history queen.
baby.
I call her the history queen.
Yeah,
Yes.
she is a beautiful young woman. She means so much to me. And then I have my friends like Chantel O'Brien. She and I uh, co-founded an organization called Leading Ladies.
Wow.
Back when we cater to and just help the young women, mainly in Abaco, but now those girls are in Nassau, and she is doing a wonderful job with them since the storm. Many of them relocated and
Yes.
so, we've been trying to hold on and try to keep them together and check up on them. But back to pageantry, like I said, I've always loved not the glitz and the glamour, but the way the queens would carry themselves. And I realized that this is something that does not happen overnight. It's really a process. These girls go through something. They get the training, they get the grooming, but there's always that when you become the queen, there's that extra. And so when I sought after the crown, I didn't realize the work that actually it was going to take
Wow.
to to come out as the queen, but I was so happy that I committed to it. And it just so
Wow.
happened to be during a time when the whole world around me was turbulent and my own personal life was not solid and steadfast in a way. Everything wasn't in place. We just moved to the US and we hadn't settled yet, but each time I tried to back out because I made the commitment before the storm, when
Right.
each time I tried to back out and there were opportunities
You
to
had
back
to
out,
go back
and the Holy
in.
Spirit said, you go forward. And so
Yes.
I believe it turned it proved to me that a desire that I had actually was planted by God in my heart.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, Molina, because when I saw the crown, I was like, hold on now, wait a minute. I didn't remember us talking about crowns, but I knew that you were sought after purpose and you
Hmm.
really, really wanted to connect with
Yeah,
your divine purpose. And
yeah.
this is actually taking place right now. I must
Mhm.
give a shout out to all my Haitian queens in the community because
Yeah, shout out.
I've met some amazing people from the
Mhm.
Haitian community
From the
just here on the
Haitian.
show and
Mm-hmm.
even through followers. I mean, beautiful
Beautiful.
people who I mean, it's something about Haitian people, I must say, they are very they don't give up.
No,
And when
resilient.
they want something, they go
Yeah,
after
they
it.
go
Like
after it.
they're not laid back or anything.
Mhm.
No offense to my Bahamian people now, we rapping still. But you know what I mean.
You
In
know,
the
I'm
culture
both
itself,
too, you know.
yeah, like
Absolutely.
the ones that I've met so far,
Yeah,
like I say,
yeah.
from the show, and I mean, everyone is just so driven, and that
Mhm.
is something that is it's amazing. It is
Yeah,
something that people would want to follow after because you
absolutely.
all are. I tell you, Molina, if you had seen my expression when I saw your page. I
Hmm.
was trying to figure out if I was about to talk to the right person, and it's just because I saw so much has changed. You
Yeah, a
know,
whole
so
lot.
much
Mhm.
so much has changed, Molina. And I mean,
Really.
what a better. I mean, how many people did you go up against, Molina?
There were I honestly, because most of it was done online, there
Uh
were
huh.
several, about six ladies that started off, I believe, and down to the end, there was about four, because most of the women, during the storm, they had because of the pandemic, they had the
Yes.
option of leaving, stopping the competition and doing it next year. You see? Yeah,
Wow.
they had that option to do it. But each time, like I said, each
Yeah,
time, an
you
email,
wasn't
there was a
supposed to back
stumbling
up.
block. And, it was go on. You continue.
Yes.
This is the year.
Yes.
You go. Yeah.
Yes, and it is 2020 is an amazing year for you, Molina, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you're just really flourishing. You're really, I mean, I'm just amazed. I'm happy to know that I know you. So this is the second queen I think I've been with, or third, I think, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm surrounded by queens. Bless God
Yes,
for
yes,
that.
ma'am.
So, Melina, let's get right into it. I want to
Mhm,
just go back and then you can take it in any direction you feel like taking it in.
mhm.
But when I first met you, let's go back there, your
Yeah.
life before all of this.
Hmm. Yeah. That looking back now, I'm seeing that. Well, first of all, I remember there was a time when I reached out to you for help because I was planning a women empowerment summit.
Yes.
At that time, I felt that the Lord called me to do this. I just come back from that year, that was 2018. I
Yes.
did a 12-week women leadership course. And then following the leadership course, I traveled to San Francisco to a global leaders summit.
Right.
And even that in itself was the Lord carrying me there. He carried me. Everything was paid for. I saw the favor of God in my life. I met, Fortune 500 company leaders. I was the only person from the Bahamas there, the only Bahamian
Woo!
there. And, I screamed for the Bahamian flag
Yes.
and I screamed for the Haitian flag.
Yes.
And I saw the grace of God on my life during that time. So I felt pumped and ready. I said, you know what? All of this training, all of this, and of course, plus my work that I'd done with the Leading Ladies organization, attending
Yeah.
different seminars, you know, it felt like this was time to do an event, and I was pumped. If you know me, I loved I drive. My drive is fueled by excitement. I
Yes.
love to be excited about things that I'm doing. And I started my planning, reaching out to sponsors. I had speakers, Acribba. I had speakers from all the way from Africa were confirmed.
Wow.
Women
Wow.
who I'd meet over the years who were like, "Oh, you're doing something? Of course, I would come." I had the
Yes.
whole thing planned out. I still have my Trello board. Like, I still have that board up with all of the details down to the seconds.
Because
That
it's gonna happen.
it's
It's
going to
definitely
happen.
gonna
Yeah,
happen.
in
Yes.
God's time. And I remember,
Yes.
the funds just not coming in to make it out, and I'd already reached out to hotel. It was going to be beautiful, man. And then I sent you a message, and to ask you for help, what should I do? And you were like, you told me you were so, that day I felt like, I felt crushed.
Oh
I felt
wow.
crushed, like, it cut me. You said the
Yes.
Lord will provide for
Yes.
anything that he he gives you direction for. And I
Absolutely.
summarized, and it was a paraphrase, but you
Absolutely.
told me this, and I was butthurt, right? I was hurt by the reaction, but now
Right.
I'm looking at it and I'm seeing exactly what you said, and I've
That's
been
why.
living what you've said
Wow.
since. I mean, I've been living it in general, but now I'm more aware of it.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
more
Yes.
aware of it in my life. And that right there is what I call the grace and favor of God. Each time he
Yes.
leads me to something, he makes provision for it.
That's it. That's
Every
it.
single thing.
That's it. That's it.
Everything.
And
And so,
Melina, that
mhm,
when you said that with me, I smiled because I was like, when the Lord will correct us and He will lead
mhm,
us in some ways. And I know how you
mhm.
felt that day. Like I knew, like when you want to do something and everything is
Yeah,
just
I wanted to
connecting.
do that.
I know, and like everything is connecting. And I remember
Mhm.
I gave you that phrase from my marriage counseling. And
Yeah.
I remember when we were about to get married, and my bishop at the time, he was like, "Let me tell you something. I don't want you to ever forget. If
Hmm.
it's the will of God, He will make the
Hmm.
provisions for it." And and
Yes.
and, and He said, you wouldn't lack anything. Like everything is gonna
Hmm.
just come in. Everything
Yeah.
is just gonna come in. So He was like,
Hmm.
you'll know if you are in the will of God because
Yeah.
you will begin to see the favor and you'll
Hmm.
begin to see things happening. And
Yeah.
as that happened, I was just so led to share it with you because I
Hmm.
was like, I should just give this to Melina. The
Yeah.
Spirit just told me it.
Yeah.
And trust me now, trust me,
Hmm.
Melina, you ain't see nothing yet. Like, you ain't
Oh,
see nothing yet for
mhm.
waiting. Like, when you wait on the Lord, it is,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you would not even be able to explain this in
Hmm.
months to
Hmm.
come. You won't be able
Yeah.
to explain this. But carry
No.
on, Melina. Oh, my.
Yes. So after this, like I said, I just got into this space. I felt sad. And so, you know what I decided? I decided to focus on my relationship with God. That's what
Yes.
I did. And
Yes.
instead of being the person that's always in the forefront and pouring into people, because to, for at least 2 years, I've been pouring and giving myself to people and spreading
Yes.
myself so thin to a point where if I'd taken on this event, it would have been more time away from my family, more my family would have had to sacrifice.
Right.
Looking back now, I'm seeing this. It would have been such a strain on my husband, and I was not mindful because my husband is one who supports me in everything.
I
He
know
has
what
my
those.
back, even when he knows, like, we really can't do this, but Melina wants to do
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
he is going to do it for me. And
Yes.
I was not mindful of that at the time. And so I decided, let's put everything down and let's
Wow.
focus. Let's focus. I
Yes.
started during the time when I was supposed to be on the show, because this was after that. I started taking some classes, cosmetology classes, because I do
Yes.
hair. I started off
Oh, I
braiding.
saw the pixie cut, Melina, not to cut you
Yes,
off.
yes. That was my
Yes.
teacher,
Yes.
my professor, Miss Sharman Davis. And
Wow.
listen, the Lord orchestrated for me to be in that class with Miss Sharman, because this lady for 6 months, almost 6 months straight, was pouring into me, even though it was
Wow.
a class for learning how to do hair and perfecting my craft. She was Everything was biblical. Everything was an inspiration. It wasn't just learning how to do hair, but it was learning how to live, how to manage your finances. It was marriage, because she is a marriage she's her and her husband, they are the marriage leaders in their church.
Mm.
And even now they have a platform called Red Robe Conversations, where she and her
Wow.
husband, they go live and they talk about it, and they are role models to my husband and I love that family so much. And so I was under this woman, and I was learning from her as she taught me my craft, and I didn't realize that that was God. At least now I realize it was God doing it for me. He
Yes.
needed me to calm down, and he needed me to learn. He
Yes.
needed me to focus. So that's what it was.
Wow.
And then in that time, things were blossoming, things were going good. Marriage got better. And,
Woo!
baby,
The
baby number
baby.
three, baby number three happened.
Yes.
And, because I was there from even my husband, his music career, things started happening for him too. He was
Yes.
able to do a little mini tour. He was able to perform at this big concert in
Wow.
Florida, on stage. And then he performed in Boston. He performed
Wow.
in Haiti. He did several locations in Haiti, all
Wow.
all 2019, all
Wow.
2000. And this is all before the storm. And so, we're just moving along. And it's in August, right before the storm. That's when I find out about the pageant, and I
Right.
inquire about it. Even though I was pregnant, I was saying, you know what, I'll find out about it. And then my baby was due in December, so I said I'll just wait, maybe 2021. I'll do it. And
Right.
the director told me, well, the current queen, she was 2 months postpartum when she won, so you'll have a whole lot of time.
Right.
You'll have a lot of time to be prepared, so you should do it.
Wow.
And my next message to her, following that, was, I just been in a storm and I don't know what's happening, because
That's
life,
right.
it's amazing. Life just switched,
Yes.
but it was still the favor that we were experiencing, because now we're at the storm. We're in September 1st. We come off this high of so many things. My husband must have traveled at least 5 times from January to August. I took a road trip, went to New Orleans to a hair show, perfecting the craft and
Yes.
pouring, and then, just filling myself up, and, taking care of myself with this new baby on the way. And just like everybody else, we heard the hurricane was coming. So we prepared. We prepared ourselves, pack your stuff, put all your documents together, at least make sure everything is together, because they
Yes.
always in one place. And, properly bagged up, and just like, but the only thing that was peculiar about this storm for us in our preparation was up to the Friday before the storm. The storm hit on Saturday, so on Sunday morning. So the Friday, up to that Friday, we couldn't decide where we were going to seek shelter. Now, our where we lived at the time was a low-lying area, so whenever it rains, there's floods. So we knew we didn't want to be home, and I wanted to go to my church, but it's across the road from the sea, so that was out.
Wow.
And I reached out to one of my friends, and she said yes, or during that week, but then she called me back and said her whole family came, so everyone is crashing with them. And so I
Yes.
remember telling my husband, okay, you know what, we're gonna go to your brother's house. Just tell him we come into his house.
Yes.
And he's like, we can't just tell someone we come. I say, that's your brother. He's not going to turn us away. So tell him we come in. And literally he called and he was like, yeah, come, let's go. So
Yeah.
and we went over there on Saturday evening. The night, that Saturday evening, I just remember being so calm. At that time now I'm 5 months pregnant, but I just remember feeling so calm. And I prayed, and I remember the Holy Spirit pouring into me. And I made a post on Facebook. I said something along the lines of, "This is the time now that the Lord is closer to us than ever before.
Yes.
He's listening. So make your petitions to Him right now." And
Yes.
the closeness that I felt, now I'm understanding, was the presence of God in the midst of a storm, trying to protect us. That's
Yes.
what I was feeling, because I just felt him strong, and I was calm. And that Sunday morning, I got up, I made breakfast for the kids. There was 10 of us in the house. I made breakfast for the kids. I got dressed like I was going out. I still have
Right.
the tights. and the t-shirt and the tennis that I wore.
Wow.
I still, and I dressed my kids because we know it was a category 5 hurricane, but we didn't know it was going to be the way it was. And I just remember when the storm started to pick up and enter, on the island and enter into on the island, the it was like a pounding where we were. And we keep hearing this pounding, but we thought it was like a piece of wood hitting the window, but it was actually the roof coming off.
Wow.
It was the roof coming off slowly. And so it's a 2-bedroom house, and there's a living room and then a little tiny kitchenette. So the first part of the roof that became compromised was in one of the rooms. And so my sister-in-law and her friend, they were in that room as the water began to seep through the walls. And so they came into the room that we were in, with my family. And then, and we got in that room, and my brother-in-law, his name is Kevin Pierre. He's so, in tune with the Spirit of God. He anointed everyone in the house, and he was like, the spirit of death won't touch anyone in this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And after that, we prayed, because now that first bedroom is compromised completely.
Right.
So now we are in the second room, and the water began to seep into that room as well. So now we move out into the living room, and all of a sudden, the glass, even with shutters, the glass of the windows just shattered all through the house.
Wow.
All through the house just shattered. And then that's because the roof had completely caved in now. So now things are falling in. Things are falling in. The wind is blowing. And so now the panic almost begins, and we were screaming to try to capture someone's attention to notice us or to hear us, the neighbors, because it's a triplex. But no one could hear us because it's so loud. My husband and brother-in-law, 2 strong men, could not get the front door to open. They were able to get it open like half of an inch, where the wind had that slam shut. So now we're trapped. We can't get out.
Wow.
They tried the back door, trapped. It's sealed shut. And so now there's a bathroom in the middle of the house. So now we try to go into that bathroom. 10 of us cannot fit because it's really small. And the water, and I remember that's when my youngest at the time, he was 4 years old, my boy, he started crying. He said, "Mommy, no, we can't go inside that bathroom." He doesn't want to be there. And I didn't try to force him. I said, okay. As soon as we walk out of that bathroom, all of us, that roof just caved in.
Wow.
So now the only thing left, mainly because now the living room is compromised, the roof is caving in, and the only thing still up is the roof over the kitchen. And we're looking, and all of a sudden, because I could see my husband, he is like, "Oh my God, no, Lord, I'm not losing my children, not the children,
Yes.
not my wife. We can't lose them. We can't lose them." And, the panic is there. And I remember my sister-in-law praying out to God, because this young woman is a believer. We are prayer warrior. And she said, "Lord, you won't bring us to open shame. You won't bring us to open shame, Lord." And
Wow.
as she said that, I held on to those words. I held on to them. It's like I confirmed them, and it was like, God, you heard her. I agree.
Yes. Right.
And, and my brother-in-law told my husband, okay, we have to think fast. We have to think of something, because this is about to come down. Okay. And so he bent down at the little kitchenette, the cabinets. He looking at them, and he just pulled the shelves out. He said, we're going to fit in here. And, my sister-in-law was like, no, we can't fit. Because after what she would tell me, she went on to tell me that on a good day, she can't fit all of her groceries in this kitchen
Right.
cabinet.
Right.
Right? And as soon as he cleared it up, and they put there was a treadmill in the house. They lift the treadmill and put it on top of it to help it like be sturdy. Because in case the roof fall, it wouldn't like crash us completely. There would be something separating us from the roof.
Right.
And we don't know what other debris or anything that's gonna fly in at this point. And so we get under. I before we get under, my oldest boy, he said, "Mommy, is God with us?" I said, "Yes, baby." That was the only words he needed to hear from me, and he went underneath the um the cabinet with nothing else. He went under the cabinet.
Wow.
And then we just, as soon as we all got in, because seven of us went under the cabinet, and my husband, my friend, and her son, they went under the kitchen sink. And as soon as we were all in, everything else just came tumbling down,
Tumbling down.
tumbling
Wow.
down. And we were safe, we were fine. And in that moment, we we prayed, we worshiped under that cabinet. We took selfies.
Are
We
you
took self-
serious?
yes, they were the first photos I posted after the storm, because after we got out, and my phone survived, so I still have, that's the same phone I use it now. My phone
Wow.
survived. And I shared, because by the time we got online and everything, um everyone was wondering where we were and all of that. But I just remember we made our escape during the eye of the storm. We ran out, we saw the light, and we ran out. The kids were safe. There was a lady on the street who didn't go out. She didn't go out to a different shelter or anything like that, and she allowed us to come into her place. In fact, the neighbors were already at her place, and they knew we were in there. They were just waiting for the calm to go, and to come over to try to help us, but they couldn't come out anytime before that, because it would have been their lives. Yeah,
Wow.
it was
Wow.
crazy. And we come out of that, and we're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened to us. We can't wait to tell everybody else. But when we see everybody else, we realize people were in worse situations.
Yes. Yes.
Neighbors had passed away. People were gone. People were crying. People were cut and bleeding. It was a horror, almost like a horror show, to see what had happened to our home, our community. People just the look of despair all around us. When I saw some of the girls in my program, breaking down in tears, it was it was something to behold. Even leaving the island was like a mass exodus. I likened it to the Israelites leaving Egypt, because everyone
Yes.
you lost, you would have been able to find at either of the two airports on the island. It was crazy.
Wow.
At that point, everyone on the island, rich and poor, was on honestly the same level. You could have been rich and you wouldn't be able to spend a dime.
Molina, can I tell you?
Mhm.
Can I tell you?
Yes,
I remember when the pandemic first happened.
yeah,
I said to my sister, we went out, and I will never forget this. We went on the grocery line. So of
yeah,
course, we had our mask on. We
hmm,
were social distancing from other people
yeah,
and all of that. And as I was standing on the line, I began to pray. So I was
yeah,
like, I'm gonna be praying while I'm on this line.
yes,
And she was in the front of me, so I was listening to this lady. She was on the line, and she was like, well, if God do, why did he just don't take this away? Why would he allow this
mm,
to happen to us? And at one a part of me wanted to answer her,
mhm,
and then a part
mhm,
said, no, you continue to pray, which I know was the
mhm,
Holy Spirit. So I continued to pray, and then there was a part, it was a still moment, and I said to my sister, I said, look around us. Look, just
mhm,
take a look around us. And she said, what? And I said, everyone is equal today.
mhm,
There is no white or black.
mhm,
There's no
mhm,
rich or poor or
no,
middle class.
no,
Everybody is on this line, and
mhm,
everybody has to humble themselves and
yes,
wait to
yep,
get some food. And
Yeah.
when you see something like this happen in Molina,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was in a meeting today and I was sharing with the host of the meeting before it started.
Yeah.
We were talking about the current state and the situation. And he
Mhm.
said, I don't know if this is a negative or a positive, but I good.
Yeah.
I'm good. He said, we now have to readjust our lives and just
Yeah.
set ourselves to what is going on now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And like you said, when you came out, people lost their lives.
Mhm. Mhm.
People had nowhere to run.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but you are still here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Mhm.
and see, a lot of people don't understand and realize that this same
Mhm.
stillness, no
Mhm.
Hollywood ain't making no movies.
No.
The NBA,
Nope. No.
everything is shut
Exactly.
down.
No NFL.
Right.
Mhm.
So who is trying to get our attention? I'm not saying that God sent this here. God
Mhm.
allowed it to
It's a high.
happen to shake
Absolutely.
all of us. He took us
Yeah.
even out of the church buildings because people were so
Yeah.
hinged on worshiping
Mm.
others and looking around.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so now you literally have to tread your own bicycle. Like
Yeah.
you have to build the relationship with God. You have to say,
Absolutely.
I'm going to fast today.
Yeah.
There's no one to tell you to
No
fast
one to
anymore.
prep
There's
you
no
and
one to
prime
tell you
you
to
up.
pray.
Hmm.
That's right. There's no more
Yeah.
priming. And so now you're
Hmm.
on your own. And so
Yeah.
now God is looking at everybody's response in this
Yeah.
season. And that's I
Yeah.
wanted to just add that to the storm because
Absolutely.
those people he was looking for the response. Were you gonna
Absolutely.
call on him during the
Hmm.
storm? Were you still gonna trust
Absolutely.
him? Even though it
During the
doesn't look
season.
because I'm telling
Hmm.
you, Melina, the way it looks right now around here, you got to encourage yourself to know that better
Oh
is
yeah.
ahead. Because
Yeah.
if not, the last 6 months that pass,
Hmm.
you'll feel like, you know what? I might as well just throw in the towel. I ain't going to
Hmm.
school no more. I ain't trying to do
Hmm.
nothing no more. It's the end of the world. And see, you can't have that attitude because
No,
there's
we
so
can't.
much more to possess.
Oh yeah. This is the time now to, like you say, to really invest in your relationship with God.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Spend that
yes.
time. Now you have the time. Now
All the
you don't have all the time to pray to God, to tell him. If you want to spend a whole day complaining to him, talk to him. If that's what it takes, talk.
yes,
He wants to hear from you. This is the time. And the people
yes,
of Abaco has been in this since Hurricane Dorian. We've been in something similar. We've been out of our comfort zone. You see? We've been shaken. So now what do you do? What do you do from the shaking?
yes,
Do you want to stay in, like the Israelites, stay in that same mindset of where, oh, I want to go back to Egypt? Not saying Abaco is Egypt, no, but certain ways that we had,
yes,
certain things that we used to do. You understand?
yes,
Abaco, we were really comfortable on that island. Abaco
yes,
was the place, you see? And there was a lot of things going on underneath the surface of this beautiful, peaceful island, and we know it. And even
yes,
for me personally, I was a slacker when it came to my faith and to my relationship with God. I was a slacker. I would
yes,
put things off when I could have pushed. I was
yes.
comfortable and complacent. I was. Because I could have been able to achieve a lot more if I was focused, if I used to push the way that the Lord needed me to push. If I was pushing like how I pushed after Hurricane Dorian, when I no longer when my back felt like it was against the wall the entire time.
Wow.
My back
Wow.
has been against the wall. And all of my trust, any trust that I had, I could not have dispersed it to anybody else besides God. All of it had to go to God. So if someone needed me to trust them, I had to trust God to trust them. That's how it was. Because he had everything under control. I no longer I was living uh uncertain. I remember the moment it hit me that I was homeless. I'm in Nassau at a shelter, and my church's shelter, and my husband finally arrived in Nassau because I was able to get on a flight with the kids.
Yes.
And I remember when I landed in Nassau, crying to the pilot. I was like, I gave him my wedding band. I said, this is the most valuable thing I have. I need you to go back and get my husband for me. And he was like,
Wow.
I can't do it. I don't know. And my pastor, Bishop Roca, he was the one who had brought us over. He said, Melina, don't worry. I'm going back to Abaco. I'm going for your husband. And so the very next morning he did go, and he couldn't get, what he did was he came over, and then the return ticket, he put my husband on, and he found his way back to Nassau. He
Wow.
put my
Look at the
husband on for
favor.
me.
Oh
I know,
my.
right? And
Wow.
finally, my husband come, and we're all together again, and we're at the shelter, and then the adrenaline began to die down. This is Friday, Saturday morning now,
Right.
almost a whole week, and I began to feel all the bodily pains, all the aches. I start to feel them, and then I'm 5 months pregnant. I have 2 children. We don't have anything left. We don't even know where we're going. We don't know what's happening. And I remember my bishop's wife, Minister Michelle Roca. She recently passed away.
Yes.
I remember her coming up the stairs of the shelter, and she saw me, and she came up to me. She held my hands, and she prayed with me. She
Wow.
prayed with me. She encouraged me. And right after we were done praying, that's when my husband called me into the room. He was like, Melina, a friend is going to help us. We're going to go. They're going to send us some tickets. We need to send our information so we can go to the States. I was like, yes, let's go. And so, and so because, I just couldn't, the shelter was starting to fill up, and I was like, I don't know how I can't handle this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so we left, but God already had everything sorted out for us. What we
Yes.
didn't know was that when we landed, I posted, we're in the US, and we shout out the organization that helped us get over there. This family saw our post, our photo, and she was like, I want this family to come and live with us, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Mind you, the Holy Spirit had spoken to her. She during the days to take in a family, but she didn't know which family. And
Right.
she said she was trying. So she called her mom. Her mom told her, if that's what the Lord told you to do, be obedient. She was looking for excuses from people, and her husband was like, yeah, do it. So now she had
Yes.
no choice but to be obedient. But it was amazing. This lady, her name is Stacy Padel. The Padel, they are a beautiful family. It's six of them, 4 children, and her and her husband. So it's 6 of them, and then they took on 4. So in total, there was a house of 10. I told her, more power to you, sister. Because that was a lot to take on,
Right.
and just like spur of the moment, just being obedient to God. But even that was part of God's plan for our life. They live on this beautiful ranch in Fort Myers. So I got to be in a space where there was so much peace. It was, it's besides when the children are playing and going crazy, but a
Yes.
beautiful view, all the animals. I came from the island to the farm. It was, it was a
I
complete
like that.
it was a complete shift, horses running about, and cow, and chickens and all stuff, and goats everywhere. And it was a complete shift. And that's where the
Right.
Lord needed me to be. And in that moment, and the Lord needed me to have someone like her during that time, because being pregnant and just not knowing what's next. And so
Yeah.
now I'm like face deep before the Lord, and every now and again that heaviness would hit me, and I wouldn't want to get up in the morning. I just want to stay in bed. I just want to stay hiding. I'm trying to make myself comfortable. I
Yes.
was looking for that comfort that I was used to, but it wasn't about comfort. And so what the Lord was doing to me during that time the Lord was, I would say, He was removing layers. He was peeling me back. It was like
Yeah.
He was rubbing me and filing me and polishing me in a way. That's what He
Yes.
was doing. So I started to write. I started to pour my heart into writing, into journaling, all of my prayers. Everything that I felt, everything that I'm feeling, I start to write it. I start to write
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Melina, was your story, just want to butt in a minute because
Hmm.
we have things coming in. People are saying happy birthday, Melina. Great conversation. Someone is saying, was this story on the news? Was your story on the news?
Um, it was featured in several different outlets. People had written about it, but I don't think it was like on TV. It was on papers. If it
Mm.
was on the news, I don't think I know. There was a piece in, at least I was reached out to by the New York Times and several
Wow.
yeah. So several people reached out to me about my story because I believe I was one of the first on the island to signal that there's life because my phone
Yes.
had survived, and it was so weird. A cousin of my husband's cousin, he had a battery pack thing. Listen, we went. It was like a dystopia movie. We charged up the phones in some makeshift battery thing. I don't know how they did it. I remember
Wow.
there was a time we traded rice because we had rice. We traded
Yes.
rice in exchange for getting our cell phones charged. It was
I, I there was someone that was telling me about that on that island as well. How
yeah,
people were just shifting. Like I got some
yeah,
bees. Okay, you give me some of this, and so everyone was basically working as a family. It was no, I can't give you, and it's
mhm,
amazing. It's
mhm,
amazing, and
yeah,
what you have to do. I mean, to survive. I mean,
yeah,
this is what you have to do to survive.
yeah. Survival mode was like up there. Yeah,
Wow,
people had to do what they
wow.
needed to do. It
And
was.
Melina, so your amazing in-laws that took you all in, how
Mhm.
has things been for them? Did they transition like you all, or
My in-laws.
yeah, that's who you went to at
No,
the
no,
store?
they were not, and they're not related to us at all. Complete
Oh
strangers.
wow, oh
Yes, complete
wow,
strangers. They are family
wow.
now, but we were
No,
each
the ones
time.
in Abaco when the storm was taking place. Did you go over to your husband's
Oh,
brother?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
Right,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Them. Yeah,
them.
they're
How did they? What came out of
for
their
them.
story?
Yes, they were able to come to the U.S. as well. They are actually up in North Carolina, so
Ah,
they're doing well also, and I just bless the Lord for them because
yes,
and the Lord He carefully orchestrated this because
yeah.
my mother actually used to live in one of the shanty towns during that time. She lived in the Pigeon Peas, and that area was obliterated. Like it
I
was
heard about,
like a
yes, I heard
blender,
about there.
like yeah.
Yes.
So my mother used to live there before the storm, but
Wow.
she was in the U.S. during the time,
I know you were
right?
so happy, right, Melina?
Right?
I
And
know, I know.
God went, and you know what else? My mother-in-law was in the U.S. during that time because she lived across from us in her area. Her house is in a ditch. You
Oh
see?
wow.
So
Wow.
my mother-in-law was on a surprise trip. I didn't even know she was in the U.S. until she
Wow.
went missing for like a week, and I called. I'm like, "Where are you?" And she was like, "Child, my next sister, she said her next daughter-in-law sent her a ticket, so she went to the States." And
Wow.
those two women, my mother and my mother-in-law, they are praying women. And when they finally saw us, it was such a relief for them to have all of their children in Abaco, all of
Yes,
their
yes.
children. And they were sitting somewhere just rocking back and forth, watching the news over and over, and like, Lord, I know you're gonna bring them out. And all of their children, all of their grandchildren, everyone came out, safe. And every time I think about it, I'm like, my mother or my mother-in-law, one of them would have been with us. And I'm like, Lord, would they have fit? If
That's true.
anybody else was there,
That
would they have fit? more than likely my husband would have given up his space for someone, or my brother-in-law would have done the same. They would
Yes,
have
yeah,
chosen to be out so that somebody else can be safe.
can be
What you
saved.
know?
Yeah,
hmm
yes. Oh man,
Yeah. So we could not have orchestrated this. God had
no,
set the right number of people in each place, and he took the mothers away because they the liabilities. He took them.
yes,
They're the ones
yes,
who would have caused us the most problems. So
right.
he took them out of the picture long before the storm.
Yes, long before the storm.
Yeah, to keep
Wow.
us
So
at ease.
Melina, you went over to the States now. I see Abaco is beginning to build up and it's looking really good. I saw some clippings of it. Do you think you would ever go back home or you're settled?
Home. Yeah, we would definitely love to go back home, you know, soon. But for right now, I feel that what the Lord is doing in our lives right now, how He set us up, we're going with
Yeah,
what the Lord is doing.
that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're going with what the Lord is doing. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Evanet says, "Happy birthday, Momo. I
Thank
forgot.
you. That's my
Sorry."
sweetie pie, Baba.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's still a birthday. We're not
yeah,
late. We're not late. We're not late. So Melina, so
yeah.
you are I mean, so you crowned until 2021. You're
Yes,
crowned. And
yeah,
according to you, this pageant took place virtually.
yes,
Share that with me because that's different. Like I
yeah,
tried to watch the BT Awards, right? And I couldn't
Mhm.
watch it because I'm so used to the crowd
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
people cheering. But I
Mhm.
mean, so everything has changed. How was that experience virtually?
For me, it was amazing the feedback that I received, that people from the judges, that it was, of course it was 100% interview, and we
Yeah.
sent in our application, and our stories, our bios, and everything like that. Um and that for the interview itself, you still had to try to show who you are. And I am grateful to God that I was able to do that, and for people
Yeah.
to feel me from a screen, because
That's right.
like you said, you wasn't really feeling it. The BT Awards, you couldn't really feel it, and
I
so
couldn't
to
feel it.
get the feedback that they felt me,
Yes.
and it had to be God. In fact, one of the judges told me, privately, she was like, this was after I knew I won and everything. She told me, she said, the glory of God was all over you. I don't know if the other judges noticed, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
But she
And
picked it
so,
up.
yeah, so I know that it was God. Of course, I fasted and I prayed, and the Lord, I said, Lord, you kept me in it. There were opportunities to come out of it without any harm. I could have always competed next year and have the chance to get on stage and wear the beautiful gown and everything. But you told me to continue. So
Yes.
maybe you're doing something a different way this time. And so I just poured my heart, I spoke my truth, and I shared my platform. I answered the questions as best as I could, and
Wow.
they received it. They received it. And their
Wow.
feedback was wonderful. Yeah.
So did you have to do any modeling or
Well,
anything like
they
that?
did ask me to stand up, and because when
Right.
it wasn't a setting similar to this, but on Zoom, and so I
Right.
had to stand up, and I was dressed down just like this. I had my Abaco sash on, Miss
Yes.
Abaco Haiti sash
Yes.
on, and I was dressed, and I had my heels on because they wanted you to be standing up so they can
Yes.
see your full body and see
Yes.
everything. So yeah, so I had
Wow.
a chance to be glammed up. And
Yes. And I know your husband was right there.
oh
How
yeah,
did
he
your
was in
husband,
the room.
yes, how did he feel when they announced the queen? What was the first thing that happened?
Well, we actually found out before it was announced. They called me that Friday. They announced it on Sunday, but they called me that Friday,
Wow.
and they had
Wow.
my director had a conversation with me. She asked me more questions, and and then she was like, well, you're gonna do well because we need someone with such positive attitude on stage at nationals because you were Mrs. Haiti International. I was like, and I started to cry like immediately. And I had to really take it in because it meant the world to me when I began to, because it's such an honor, it's a great title, to be not just a state queen, but a nation's queen. And my
Yes.
heritage, this it meant so much to my mother, who was right in
Wow.
the living room with me. My mother went through so much, um,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
and so to be in that position was a dream come true because she suffered and she struggled a lot. And to see her daughter as the queen, my entire family back in Haiti, everyone, they found out that at least we let them know. They were like, "What?" I see my cousins have
Yes.
a photo as their status on WhatsApp, and
Yes.
I'm like, it means a lot to my family. When I told my husband though, he was like, "You for real?" I said, "Yes." He was like, "You lie." I said, "Yeah." And he gave me a
Yes.
big hug, and he was
I
like, "Oh my
know.
God," 'cause his name for me is Princess. He was like, "Princess was a queen." I say, "Yes,
Yes.
I'm a
I love
queen."
it. I love it. I love it. You have graduated to the queen now. So you're the
Yeah,
queen.
but I'm
Oh
still his
my.
princess though.
Oh, I know. And Molina, you are, it's something. When I met you a year and some ago,
Mhm.
you looks just like a queen, and
Thank
it's still there, the same beautiful smile,
you,
the
thank
same
you.
bubbly personality. And the thing
Mhm.
about it is, Molina, when you said that the people felt you through
Mhm.
the screen,
Mhm.
I can truly say, and this is no word of lie,
Mhm.
I felt you the first time we met. I felt your passion. I felt you in the whole, I felt the bubbliness, the
Yeah.
laughter, everything. I felt it through our
Yeah.
writing. Like if you go back, you still feel
Mhm.
it. If we have
Yeah.
it there, you'll still feel it. But it's
Yeah.
it's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have not chose a better queen,
Thank
Molina.
you. Thank
I know
you.
that you're gonna do Haiti well. You're representing Abaco well,
Yeah.
and this is awesome. This is amazing, Molina. So today we understand truly the purpose and the will of
Mhm.
God, and it's perfect. You
Yeah.
know, I'll share something with you that I read because I have
Mhm.
something for you. But I shared something. I want to share something with you that I read early this week in my morning
Mhm.
devotions,
Yeah.
and it was talking about the light of God.
Mhm.
um, the first thing God commanded in the beginning was light. He said,
Yeah.
"Let there be light," and there was light.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go about life when things are just good. We
Mhm.
just say, "Well, okay, we good."
Mhm.
But being a child of God or being a
Yeah.
part of a kingdom where there's royalty, God he's perfect. And so
Yeah.
his kids he want to give perfect things to. He want to give us perfect health, perfect
Mhm.
finances, perfect jobs, perfect
Yeah.
opportunities. And that meant so much to me because
Mhm.
it was saying that rather than saying good,
Mhm.
just speak over your life that I am
Mhm.
perfect. Like I'm not, the being is not perfect because God
Perfect.
knows
Yeah.
that we will
Mhm.
fall.
Mhm.
But our situations, we will have
Yeah.
perfect health. We will have a perfect family. We will have a
Mhm.
perfect this. Because sometimes we just settle.
Yeah.
And being children of God,
Mhm.
that is what He wants. He wants us to inherit beautiful things here on
Yeah.
earth
Yeah.
and in the world to come.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
with Him. And so
Absolutely.
I just want to share that with you because you are a light, Molina. You
Thank
are you
you.
are beautiful and you are a light. And I'm just so happy. Like I
Thank
am
you.
just
Thank
so,
you.
so
Thank you.
excited. Evanet
Thank
says,
you.
"Who God bless, no man curse." Keep doing your thing, girl. You are inspiring many, including me. She
Yeah.
has that effect on people. Absolutely, Molina. I'm telling you, I
Mhm.
am telling you, and when me and Melina connected about a week or so ago, it felt like we never disconnected. We probably
No.
were still running on from the past
From
chat,
Bali.
right? Right. So, I mean, and it's just, and like you said, God brought you today on a
Mhm.
special day when you could be doing other things. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you go do other things because I
Yeah.
know hubby got something planned for the princess and the kids. Everybody got to put the kids to bed. and we have some good times. But
Yeah.
Melina, before you go and before I let
Mhm.
you give closing remarks,
Mhm.
I have a special team member that I want to do something really, really special for you. All
Okay.
right. So
Yes.
I don't know if he's there, Christoph. If he's there, could you bring him in for me, please? I am waiting. Are you nervous?
I'm excited. Well, let me start saying thank you. Like, thank
Oh
you.
man. It's gonna be I'm just waiting, and technology is so amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
this is something. Let me see where my
Mhm.
surprise is.
I have a whole lot of
Oh man. You know what I should do? Let me make a call.
that.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm gonna do, Christoph. You are so good. That is what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely still gonna set this up, and
Okay.
we're gonna make this work. This has to work today.
Mhm.
And this is definitely a fight right here
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
Lord had told me to call him and to put him
Mhm.
on. And so it's been a fight with him all day. All day. Oh, Christoph, I don't have him. I don't have him. 1 minute. Melina, give us some closing remarks anyway
Okay.
while we wait.
Yes, I have a scripture I want to share, which is one of
Yes.
my favorite scriptures, one of my most favorite. It is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says,
Wow.
I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
scripture says it all. When you
Hey,
are in doubt,
your call,
when
sweetie.
your world is, when you're in a storm, when there's disaster all around you, understand that God's plan for your life is perfect. And He wants to give you peace. He
Okay.
wants
You
to
ready now?
prosper you and give you a hope and a future. Okay, that is my message to you today. Dwell, hold on to that word. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my.
When? Okay. Christoph, where did Melina go? Am I still live, Christoph? I am still live. Oh, that's okay, everybody. So it appears as if we're having a little bit of difficulty. I hope that Melina is able to come back in. If not, I may have to close the session out without her, but I will definitely still. Okay, I'm going to give her a minute. I'm still going to get this surprise on the line because since I announced it, I still want everyone to see the surprise for Queen Melina. So we're going to wait just a few minutes. Chris, do you want to run her intro back again?
Hi everyone, my name is Molina Pierre, Mistress Haiti International 2020. I am so excited to have been invited to join Acribba so that we can chat and talk about the goodness of the Lord and His unwavering faithfulness in our lives. God is truly wonderful, and I look forward to a moment of celebration. I will be joining her on July 16th, which happens to be my birthday, so we're going to lift up the name of God together. I look forward to sharing my testimony and my platform glowing with purpose and how all of that came about. So please make plans to tune in, to watch, and to get involved. Join in this praise party with us. God bless you, and I cannot wait.
Let's welcome Molina Pierre, Mrs. Haiti International 2020.
All right, everyone. So thank you for bearing with us and your patience. It appears as if there is some technical difficulty on Molina's side, but I just want to give you all thanks, and I want to give God thanks for allowing her story, her testimony to still come forth. And we were just about to get some fun on. So it doesn't matter that part. I really wanted her story to get out there. That was much more important, and that was able to happen tonight. So I'm thankful to Molina for gracing the show with us tonight. It was simply amazing. I pray that you were inspired and touched by some way with her story. Of course, I will place all of her social handles in the comment box below in the description box so that you can follow Molina's journey and see where God will take her next. As you can see, her story is amazing. The subject head today was faith and the process. And as you can see, Molina has been processed for this time and this season. So I want to thank you all once again for joining me for another Faith Life session. Don't forget to join me next week at 6:30 p.m. as I host the beautiful Corel Pinder. She's such an amazing girl all the way from Freeport. So it's going to be good to have her. So come on in and join us as we have another Faith Life. Have a great evening, everyone. God bless you.
Live event streaming provided by Church Boy Production Studio.